Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in the solar system after Mercury. Mars is a dry, cold planet with temperature at its equator vary between 25 Celsius in the afternoon to 40 Celsius at night. Mars has many Earth-like features such as clouds, mountains, craters, desert, and polar ice caps. This led astronomers to believe that intelligent beings live on Mars. These ideas had to be abandoned after studies showed that most parts of Mars do not have water. The polar caps are a frozen mixture of water and carbon dioxide. The clouds are composed of dust, not water vapor. Mars has a thin atmosphere which consists about 96.5 carbon dioxide, 1.5 nitrogen percent, 1.5 argon percent, and trace of oxide, carbon dioxide, and water. Mars has named after the Roman god of war. It is often referred to as the Red Planet because the iron oxide prevalent on its surface gives it a reddish appearance. Mars is the terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere having surface features reminiscent both of the impact craters of the moon and the valleys, deserts, polar ice caps of the Earth. Mars is approximately half the diameter of Earth, and its surface area is only slightly less than the total area of the Earth's dry land. Mars is less dense than Earth, having about 10% of Earth's volume and 11% of Earth's mass, resulting in about 38% of Earth's surface gravity. The red-orange appearance of the Martian surface is caused by iron oxide or rust. It can also look like butterscotch, and other common surface color include golden brown, tan, and greenish, depending on the materials present. Of all the planets in our solar system, the seasons of Mars are the most Earth-like due to the similar tilts of the two planets' rotational axes. The lengths of the Martian seasons are about twice those of Earth's because Mars' greater distance from the Sun leads to the Martian year being about 2 Earth years long. Martian surface temperatures vary from lows of about 143 negative Celsius at the winter polar caps to high up to 35 Celsius in the equatorial summer. If Mars had an Earth-like orbit, its seasons would be similar to Earth because its axial tilt is similar to Earth's. The axial tilt of Mars is 25.19 degrees relative to its orbital plane, which is similar to the axial tilt of Earth. As a result, Mars has seasons like Earth. Though on Mars they are nearly twice as long because its orbital asteroid is that's much longer. Mars also has the largest dust storms in the solar system. These can vary from a storm over a small area to gigantic storms that cover the entire planet. They tend to occur when Mars is the closest to the Sun, have been shown to increase the global temperature. Mars' average distance from the Sun, roughly 230 million kilometers, 143 million miles, and its orbital asteroid is 687, is the amount of days, Earth days. The solar day or solar on Mars is only slightly longer than an Earth day, 24 hours and 39 minutes long, and 35 seconds. A Martian year is equal to 1.8809 Earth years, or 1 year, 320 days, and 18 hours. Evidence suggests that the planet was once significantly more habitable than it is today, but whether living organisms ever reside there remains unknown. Mars has 2 relatively small natural moons, Phobos, about 22 kilometers, 14 miles in diameter, and Deimos, about 12 kilometers, 7.5 miles in the diameter, which orbit close to the planet. Discovery known to the ancient and visible naked eye. Name for Roman god of war. Diameter 4,217 miles, 6,787 kilometers. Orbit 687 Earth days. Day just more than 1 Earth day equals 34 hours and 37 minutes long. Mars equals 1 day. That is true. Moons 2. Asteroids. These are small lucky bodies usually found between Mars and Jupiter. This region is known as the asteroid belt. There are thousands of asteroids of very size. They could be the remains of heavily bodies that broke up long ago. Most asteroids move along circular orbit. Asteroids are rich in the elements similar to those on Earth. Ida is an asteroid in the Coronis family of the asteroid belt. It was discovered on 29 December 1884 by Austrian astronomer Johann Palisa and named after a name from Greek mythology. Later telescopic observation categorized Ida is an S-type asteroid, the most numerous type in the inner asteroid belt. On 28 August 1993, Ida was preceded by the Space Telescope. Galileo bound for Jupiter. It was the second asteroid to be visited by a spacecraft and the first found to have a natural satellite. Like all main belt asteroids, Ida's orbit lies between the planet Mars and Jupiter. Its orbital period is 4 years and its rotation period is 4 hours. Ida has an average diameter of 31 kilometers, 19 square miles. Ida was discovered on September 29, 1884 by Australian astronomer Johann Palisa at the Vienna Astronomy. Ida is a member of the Coronis family of asteroid belt asteroids. Ida orbits the Sun at average distance of 2 AU 428.1 GM. Between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, Ida takes 4 years to complete one orbit. The rotation period is 4.36 hours, making it one of the fastest rotating asteroids yet discovered. Ida has a moon named Ductile. Official destination 243 Ida. Ductile. It was discovered in image taken by the Galileo spacecraft during its flyby in 1930. Deuteria is a large asteroid in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, of an unusual spectral type. It measures about 100 kilometers in diameter, 120 kilometers along its major axis. It was discovered in 1952 by Hermann Goldsmith and it's named after Lutetia, the Latin name of the city that stood where Paris was later built. Lutetia has an irregular shape and it's heavily cratered with the largest impact crater reaching 45 kilometers in diameter. Lutetia was discovered on November 15, 1852 by Hermann Goldsmith. Distance of approximately 24 AU in the inner asteroid belt. Its orbit lies almost in the plane of ecliptic and its moderately eccentric. The orbital period of Lutetia is 3.8 years. Vesta or Vesta is the one of the largest objects in the asteroid belt with mean diameter of 525 kilometers, 326 miles. It was discovered by the German astronomer Heinrich Wilhelm Oberst on March 29, 1807, and it's named after Vesta, the virgin goddess of home and heart from the Roman mythology. Vesta is the brightest asteroid visible from Earth. Its maximum distance the Sun is slightly greater than the minimum distance of Sirius from the Sun, though its orbit lies entirely within the Sirius. Vesta orbits the Sun between Mars and Jupiter within the asteroid belt with a period of 3.6 Earth years. Its orbit is moderately inclined 7.1 compared to 7 for Mercury and 17 for Pluto, and moderately inclined 0.9 compared to Mars. 0.9. Vesta is the second most massive body in the asteroid belt, though only 28% as massive as Ceres. Jupiter, the largest of the 9 planets and the 5th planet from the Sun, it has a diameter that is more than 11 times size of Earth. Its mass is than 1,000 that of the Sun, but 2.5 times that of all other planets in the solar system combined. Jupiter is a gas giant along with Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are ice giants. Jupiter was known to astronomers of ancient times. The Romans named it after their god Jupiter. When viewed from Earth, Jupiter can reach an apparent magnitude of 2.94 bright ignat for its reflected light to cast shadows, and making it on average the third brightest object in the night sky after the Moon and Venus. However, the mass of Jupiter is small compared to its size is because Jupiter is composed mainly of hydrogen. The hydrogen exists as a gas in its thick atmosphere and probably as a liquid underneath the atmosphere. The next most abundant substance is helium, followed by methane, ammonia, and simple other molecules. Jupiter has built of colorful clouds in its atmosphere. The clearly visible Great Red Spot is the now known to be a hurricane that has been blowing from Earth. Jupiter also has a faint ring system composed of dark and sun grains, and thus Jupiter gives off a lot of heat than it receives from the sun. This indicates an intensely hot and active core. Is Jupiter's mean surface temperature around 108 negative Celsius. Although the temperature at its core is estimated to be about 30,000 Celsius, Jupiter has known satellite moons, 67 moons. As of 2014, Jupiter's magnetic field is 14 times as strong as Earth. Raging storm 4.2 Gauss 0.42 mt at the equator to 10.14 Gauss at the poles, making it the stronger in the solar system except for sunspots. This field is thought to be generated by airy currents, whirling movements of conducting materials within the liquid metallic hydrogen core. Jupiter is the only planet that has a center with the sun that lies outside the volume of the sun, though by only 7% of the sun radius. The average distance between Jupiter and the sun is 778 million kilometers, about 5.2 times the average distance from Earth to the sun, or 5.2 AU astronomical units, and it completes an orbit every 11 years. This is to find the orbital period of Saturn, forming a 4 years orbital runs between the two largest planets in our solar system. The axial tilt of Jupiter is relatively small, only 3.13 amount of degrees. As the result, it does not experience seasonal change. In contrast to example Earth and Mars, Jupiter rotation is the fastest of all the solar system planets, completing rotation on its axis slightly less than 10 hours. Jupiter is usually the fourth brightest object in the night sky after the Sun, the Moon, and Venus. At times, Mars appears brighter than Jupiter, depending on Jupiter's rotation with respect to the Earth can vary in visual magnitude from as bright as 2.9 at oppositions down to 1.6 during conjunction with the Sun. In 1610, Galileo Galilei discovered the four planets moon of the Jupiter, now known as the Galilean moons, using a telescope. The four largest moons visible from Earth with binoculars on a clear night as known as the Galilean moons are Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. The Galilean moons Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, order of increasing distance from Jupiter. These four moons discovered by Galileo Galilei and by Simon Marius in parallel orbit between 400,000 and 1 million kilometers and are some of largest moons in the solar system. Jupiter has been called the solar system's vacuum cleared because of its immense gravity, well, and location near the inner solar system. It receives the almost frequent comet impacts of the solar system planet. It was thought that the planet served to partially shield the inner system from cometary bombardment. The planet Jupiter has been known science as since time. It is visible to the naked eye in the night sky and can occasionally be seen in the daytime when the sun is low to the Babylonians. This object represented their god Marduk. They used Jupiter roughly 12-year orbit along the ecliptic to define the constellation of their zodiac. Discovery known the ancients and visible to the naked eye. 2. Name for rule of the Roman gods. 3. Diameter 86,881 miles, 139,822 kilometers. Orbit 11 Earth years. Day 9 hours. Moons 67 moons of 2014.